In 1917, Tsarist Russia stood on the precipice of collapse as the weight of widespread poverty and discontent bore heavily upon the nation. The streets of major cities were filled with the cries of the hungry and the desperate, as the gap between the ruling elite and the suffering masses grew ever wider. The once mighty empire, strained by the pressures of World War I and internal strife, seemed poised for a dramatic transformation. Amidst this turmoil, Vladimir Lenin, a charismatic and determined Bolshevik leader, returned from exile to breathe new life into the revolutionary movement. His vision of a society free from the shackles of oppression resonated deeply with the disillusioned populace, who yearned for change. With his fiery speeches and unwavering resolve, Lenin quickly became a beacon of hope for those seeking to overthrow the old order. The Tsar's regime crumbled under the weight of its own inadequacies during the February Revolution, as the people rose up to demand an end to autocratic rule. The Tsar was forced to abdicate, and a provisional government was hastily formed to fill the power vacuum. However, this new government proved fragile and ineffective, unable to address the pressing needs of the people or bring stability to the nation. Seizing the moment, Lenin and the Bolsheviks orchestrated the October Revolution, promising the war-weary and impoverished populace peace, land, and bread. With a strategic and decisive takeover, they dismantled the provisional government, capturing the imagination and support of the masses. Lenin's promises offered a vision of a new Russia, one that would prioritize the needs of its people over the interests of the elite. However, the path to this new society was fraught with conflict, as a brutal civil war erupted between the Bolshevik Red Army and the counter-revolutionary White forces. The nation was plunged into chaos, with brother fighting against brother in a bitter struggle for the future of Russia. The stakes were high, and the outcome uncertain, as both sides fought fiercely for their vision of the country's destiny. Ultimately, the Bolsheviks emerged victorious, solidifying their hold on power and establishing the world's first socialist state. This monumental shift not only transformed Russia but also sent shockwaves across the globe, forever altering the landscape of international politics. The Russian Revolution marked the dawn of a new era, as the ideals of socialism began to take root and spread beyond the borders of the newly formed Soviet Union.